the $2.5 million deferral of the climate change. I appreciate some of the emails I've been receiving.
And hopefully today's discussion finally puts an end to the hyperbole and manufactured outrage that has surrounded this motion for weeks before it's been even publicly released.
The $2.5 million reduction through a deferral of the capital project related to climate change action plan, what would be the impact tangibly in terms of what this is slated to fund?
The Reserve has been supporting some of the core work of the Office of Climate Change Initiatives.
This Climate Change Reserve for me has been really important for Ward 2 residents when we talk about things like urban heat impacts. Some of the pilots have tried to address how we green our municipal parking lots, how we reduce air quality emissions.
I just want to say for the record that what's impressed me about our climate change office is that the recommendations that they brought forward have been very practical recommendations. They haven't been pie in the sky when you die. They've been sound on the ground when you're around.
Infrastructure and climate funding are urgent. And also on the topic of this reserve and the amount of money in there and how much is being spent this year, I asked finance about this earlier. We have hundreds of reserves, dozens which are discretionary, and there's no talk about aren't those reserves being spent every year? There's no requirement for them to be spent in a 12-month period. So rhetorical question, why is this one being targeted? We have had dozens and hundreds of emails on the topic of climate. I think we need to listen to that. I certainly do.
Hundreds of Hamiltonians in the short time that this has been public have been reaching out to my email. I can't speak to since midnight last night and 8 p.m. last night. My inbox hasn't stopped dinging with folks opposed to this specific motion. We made a promise to Hamiltonians. I don't think this is how we have a conversation about changing our minds about that promise. I think folks are quite clear that they would like to have more consideration. They have concerns about this. And in fact, looking at all the correspondence, this is the single item that has received the most correspondence. Not I want lower taxes. When we're counting up all of the correspondence inquiries throughout the budget process, this motion, this item, has got the most public input against it, specifically referring to the climate reserve as well.
Investing money in order to fundamentally change and reorder what you do and how you do it to limit the risks that are before us, have been before us for decades, and are only going to accelerate. To relinquish that responsibility presents a risk that I think does a disservice to our residents because we know better. And to Councillor Alex Wilson's point, it seems that our residents do know better, as reflected in the correspondence.